welcome, 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 everybody. We are so glad to have you here with us today. It is Sunday, September 7th, noon
Wow.
Pacific, 3 Eastern, or whatever time it happens to be where you are because you are watching us right now. It is time for The Master's Mind. I haven't used that in a while, so why
Hey,
not?
Craig, way to go. Way to go.
And welcome, everybody. It is that time, and we are just so glad to have you with us here on this beautiful Sunday. So I am going to make sure that everybody keeps coming in and that we get started because I know, as Robert has teased, that he has some very cool things to share with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's all give it up for Mr. Robert Hollis!
Well, hello, everyone, and happy Sunday to you. I do love and appreciate each and every one of you. And, I know that I knew at the beginning of the week that talking about being delusional just took on a life of its own. And like Craig and I were talking, it's pretty interesting where, most people look at being delusional as a negative, right? And one of the things I want to say to each and every one of you is when you think about, have you ever heard, I know you have, but you ever heard of someone being extremely enthusiastic and passionate, about their beliefs and who they are and what they think? And as they're saying it, your mind goes, wow, this person's elevator doesn't go all the way to the top floor. um, they're missing. Some of us might say that about ourselves, right? But one of the things I keep saying to people all the time is when you really, really can learn to love yourself. I love some of Sandy's stuff. It's just awesome, where she's talking about self-love and stuff like that. And it's like a lot of people I know have a difficulty explaining who they are because they really haven't done the work to know who they are, right? And so it's very difficult for sometimes for us to express what we think and what we believe. When why don't we just figure out that we're very unique and no one has our belief? See, when we say that, no one's got our DNA or no one's got our fingerprint, right? That we're unique. No one's got our iris. No one's got our DNA, right? No one's out there like us. But then when it comes to us explaining what we believe, we're not very confident about that. Why would we be confident about our thoughts and our beliefs? Because sharing it with other people can make them roll their eyes. So as we express what we believe and what we're delusional about, that's when people sort of go, all right. So now all of a sudden, we want to be loved. We want accepted. We want to fit in. And now all of a sudden, we are not really sure about what our beliefs and thoughts should be because we're worried about what ourselves and other people think about it. So just follow me with this. So if we listened to somebody, so two delusional stories, right? So if you heard someone that just had unbelievable commitment for their belief in God or belief in Jesus or belief in their beliefs, even if they're different, and I think it's pretty interesting that, before I thought of what wanted to really come up with on Sunday, that I had someone knock on my door. Have you guys had anyone knock on your door? And, they were talking about this, and it's funny because as they were sharing with me what they thought, I was going, man, they sure are convicted to the point of going to someone's home, a total stranger, not knowing what that person's going to say or do? So, a lot of people go, well, I don't believe in that religion. I don't believe in that religion. But if you're a person that's supposed to love yourself and love others, I sure love their commitment to what they do. I love that they put themselves out there. I love that they were very complimentary. When they walked up to the steps and the guy goes, are those ponds on your land? And I said, yeah. He goes, the waterfall wouldn't be there. I go, no, I built that for my wife. And his wife did a classic thing where she looked at her husband and went, this guy builds waterfalls for his wife. And all I did was just smile, and he asked how long we've been there, and I said 22 years. And it was a really super nice conversation. Of course, they invited me to come to the temple hall, and I told them that, I love people and I love their beliefs and I love learning. So I've been to kingdom halls, I've been to temples, I've been to mass, I've been to sweat tents. It's like, I'm one of those people that want to consistently learn from other people. And so don't you guys find it unique when we hear someone that's really crazy about their belief, that we can hear in their voice and how they're talking? We go, this person's a little out there. They're a little delusional in what they think and what they believe. But then, have you ever heard anyone that's full of passion and excitement to explain evolution? And it's like, listen, I'm telling you, a star blew up and it created everything that's here. And you're like, yeah. It's like, I always tease my son. I'm going like, he's holding Ezra, this incredible miracle in my eyes. And I don't think he's ever going to look at Ezra and just going, wow, this is total by accident, a speck of dust, speck of stardust. You know what I mean? It's like, so why do any of us have to have the same delusions as anybody else? So if you guys notice on Saturday, I really talked about this, and watch it again, but it really blows my mind that you sort of got to look at yourself and go, am I for something or am I always against something? And I'll just leave it at that. So when Sandy tells me what she believes, and I'm listening and I'm going, okay, so what if I just love her unconditionally? There's a lot of things that she's going to explain to me. It's going to be definitely over my head. It's not going to be in my understanding. I'm not going to understand certain things. I'm going to have to ask her, well, how does that work? I don't understand how that works. And then she does her best to explain it to me, and I'm still not there. When does delusion start to be like faith? See, when you say faith, people go, oh, that's the religious statement. But every one of you, if you looked up the definition of faith, here's what faith is speaking of things that are not as if they were. The definition of faith is believing something that hasn't happened yet. Is that delusional? You better get your stuff right, because Jesus is coming back to the planet, and if you don't have your stuff right, you're not going anywhere. And people are like, hang on. So it was funny. I didn't plan on this happening, but me and Craig got on like before 10 minutes early, right? I just said, hey, Craig, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, hang on, I'm looking at some scores. Me and Sue, his girlfriend, were playing fantasy football. And, right now I'm ahead. And Sue's like tied. And I'm playing with this stranger, but Sue's playing with a friend of mine. And I'm going like, what? Then he goes off on me. Robert, no, listen, you just don't have a team like the Steelers. Like your quarterback could be from the Steelers and your running back could be from the Rams, and then your kicker could be from this one. And I'm going like, I'm like, is this guy talking real language? How many of you play fantasy football? Okay, one person. But if we ask Craig to explain fantasy football to us, how many of you have had someone explain a game to you that you knew nothing about? I've seen people explain football to people. And when they're talking about it, because they know all the rules and they love the sport, don't they come across like this is the simplest freaking game to know in the world? Don't they? It's like, oh my God, football's easy. You got a football, you're trying to get it 10 yards, you get 4 downs to do that. And if you don't, then the other team gets it. But get this, instead of giving the ball to the other team, you actually can kick it. But depending on how far you're away from the end zone, it'd either be a kick that they could return or you would try to be a field goal, which is 3 points. So then a touchdown 7? No, a touchdown 6, and then they got to do similar to a field goal to get an extra point, which would make it 7. So it's either 6, 1, or 3? No, if you actually catch them in another end zone, you actually can get 2 points. It's called a safety. Have any of you ever seen anyone explain something that they love and they're passionate about? I see Corky's on here, right? So I think that if we all learn to accept this concept called delusion, and while you're listening to like Matt talk about AI, he does it so effortlessly when he tries to explain it to us, isn't he coming across that, listen, this is not hard. You want this. You go to AI, you tell them what you want, it gets some code for you, then you plug it in there, and then you do some prompts, and here's Ezra, riding on a horse. It's just that simple. And I'm going, no, it's not. How many people understand why 3 million people show up to watch Corky be Santa? So I just want you guys to see this, that if faith is like you're being delusional, and then you're okay with being delusional because you love and you're passionate about it. See, so when we hear people talk about things that are not anymore, like, hey, I'm getting in this company. I probably need like 34,000 people that are doing like 30 points in volume, and that would make $1 million in what is called business volume, not dollars, business volume. That if they do that in a calendar month, then I become a crown ambassador. And as a crown, how many of you have tried to explain a comp plan to somebody? How many of you tried to explain a comp plan to someone when you honestly don't know it yourself? But are we okay with this? It's like, so you've seen on another Saturday Master's Mind I did where it's all about testimonials. It's just about testimonials, because when someone's sharing with you something that you don't understand and they're passionate about it, they're enthusiastic about it, it's like, how many of you have listened to people and go, and I've been told this many times, I don't understand what you do, I'm in. People go, I don't need to understand. And when I first got in personal development 38 years ago, my mentor told me that if I tried to explain this stuff to other people, that he gave me an acronym. He goes, so when people look at you and go, are you in a cult? You just need to say to them, oh, you mean Citizens Uncovering Limited Treasures? He knew that me trying to explain personal development was like me explaining to someone a total delusion of something they would never understand. Now, I'd like you guys, if you want to add questions, bring in questions or also make statements to this, because here's the thing that I want each and every one of you to know. You're unique. You're a miracle. There's no one like you. And so your connection to whatever delusion you think this is your connection. So this is my opinion only. No, it's not my opinion. It's my hallucination. It's my delusion that I'm sharing with you, that if you're part of a religion or belief, this is why you never feel like you're 100% in. That should feel very comfortable for some of you. Have some of you been a part of one church and then went to another church and then went to another church and then went to another church? Why would someone do that? Wow, it used to feel good there. It doesn't feel good there anymore. Oh, so you're different? You're different? Wow, what a concept. So now there's a group of people out there that will actually tell us that if we don't believe a certain way, we're going to be punished for it. Uh-oh. What do you mean? No, this is the only way to believe. This is the only way to be. And then on top of that, they got a lot of rules and laws, right? So if you don't do this and do this and do this, isn't that crazy? So then we go, well, I don't do that stuff all the time. So now I run into Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and Christians and Jews. And I run into all these people and I go, well, if you don't mind me asking what your belief is. And the majority of people that I get say anything right now is they go, listen, I did grow up in the Mormon belief, but I'm not a practicing Mormon. Well, what are you? I'm a modern Mormon. What's a modern Mormon? Well, there's things that I believe and then things that I do not. Oh, that sounds to me like individuality. That's sounding like you're taking parts of it that are for you and parts that are not, but yet some religions will tell you you no longer can be part of this organization if you don't do this and this and this. Am I losing anyone? So when you really, really think about that, I always hear people, because the one part that I think we really got to be very unique about is just constantly ask yourself, when someone else is sharing who they are and what they think and what they believe, what if we just came from a part of love of just saying, I'm listening to someone doing their best to explain their delusion to me? Because if we got off religion and belief, do you know how many people I've met over the years that don't believe in network marketing? And if I asked them to explain what network marketing is, they can't explain it. How can a non-believer explain to a believer that's got results that doesn't work? This has always been the funniest thing for my life. It's like, well, that's against the law. And I go, so I made millions of dollars breaking the law for 38 years and no one's coming to arrest me? I even joke with people. I say, listen, are you the kind of citizen that if you've seen someone hurting another human being, Are you the kind of person that would interject? Or are you the kind of person that would at least call the police? Are you a person that would do that? Yeah, I'm that person. Well, you just said that I was involved in something unethical and illegal. Why don't you call 911 and turn me in? And they always get really quiet. And I go, why are you quiet? Because you also know that you can actually end up going to jail for having a false police report. Are you that unsure of yourself that when you call the police and say, I got a guy down here trying to sell me coffee, that he's going to go, are you all right? Maybe you need to be arrested and put in a rubber room. So it's funny when you look at everything in life, your thoughts on children, your thoughts on marriage, your thoughts on other countries. Do you guys look at how many people are just totally delusional in a delusional world? Do you know I still say things like, oh, I'm thinking about going back to Hungary. Me and Chris Robinson are thinking before the end of the year that we're gonna go to Nigeria to help the Nigerian team. They're doing so well. Do you know how many people I personally know, family and friends, that when I tell them I'm going to Nigeria would go, you are out of your frickin' mind. You can go to the government website and it actually says on there that this is one of the countries you shouldn't go to. Why are you going? Well, because I have friends there. What do you mean, friends? I not only have friends, but I have business partners for over 6 years, and some of them are actually in the military. So when they told me that they'll pick me up from the airport and make sure I get to everywhere I want to go, and it's the military, I think I'm going to be okay. You can't think that. Well, I can because I've been to Colombia, I've been to El Salvador, I've been to Ecuador. I've been to, Thailand. I've been to China. I've been to Philippines. I've been to a lot of other countries that you think are not safe, and I still went there and I'm okay. Is that a crazy delusion? It's like, of course I'm going to be safe. Well, I'd never go. I have no doubts you'd never go. I have no doubts at all that you would never go. So the last part of this, and I'd love for anyone just to, last couple ones as we've been doing Master's Mind. I've normally been doing a majority of the speaking, if not all of it. But there's a lot of things where people want a closer relationship with whatever this is. And I think the problem with it is that people really, really have a difficulty knowing themselves and knowing exactly what they're looking for. Because I have a lot of people that will try to debate me, and what they'll debate me is based on what they heard someone said about a certain scripture. And they'll say, well, listen, according to this scripture, da 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 da. What do you think about that? And I go, well, what do you think about the scripture that says not to lean on your own understanding, that no one knows? But yet you just said you did. You not only know, you know someone that does know. So you're just disregarding that scripture? So you're picking a scripture that you think works for you, but you don't want to believe in a scripture like this one? That's like, well, I don't understand. Why? Because you're not supposed to lean on your own understanding. That's why I don't understand. So I thank you guys very much. I also made that post where I'd go, just ask yourself, are you the kind of person that spends more time sharing with people or sharing content that you're for? Or are you the kind of person that is looking for someone that's for something and you're the person that's against something? Isn't that interesting? Because someone gets passionate and says what they believe. I love fantasy football. why would I in any way, shape, or form want to say to Craig that that sounds like the most stupid waste of time that a person could possibly have? In fact, don't they always say that? In fact, I heard that people that play fantasy football pretty much look at the rest of their lives as fantasy. It's like, where are you getting your facts? And see, my mentor even taught me when I first got in personal development. He says, watch out for the dream stealers. Watch out for the people that, as soon as you start sharing something that makes you excited, that gives you joy, watch the people that are like trying to sweep your legs out from underneath you. Isn't it sad that the world, there's a group of people that that's all they do all day, every day, is they're just against something. Their whole lives are against something. And so even if you can have a short discussion with them and go, okay, I see where you're coming from. So what are you for? What do you mean? Well, if I'm the stupidest person in the world for doing what I'm doing, then what is your solution for people like me? Well, I don't know. So you've never ever thought about how you would solve someone's problems. You just want to crap on everybody. Say, I'm open to listen to somebody. I love criticism when people tell me what else I should be doing. Robert, I don't think you should be doing that. Okay. Have you ever thought of this? And you could do this, 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 and this. Wow, I haven't. What do you feel about that? What do you think about that? Oh, I'll have to ponder that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, what I want masters minds to be is you developing that closeness. I remember the very first time that I heard Bob Proctor 38 years ago say, you got to figure out who you are. You got to really dig deep and find out who you are. And I watched a clip just the other day about this because he was saying it to a person. The person goes, oh, I know who I am. He goes, who are you? I'm Jim Williamson. No, you're not. What do you mean? Well, that's the name your parents gave you. In fact, you say, my name is Jim Williamson. This is my arm. This is my leg. You don't say that I am arm. You go, this is my arm. So you got a spirit, and you got a body, and then you got a mind. Consciousness. So I'm not my body. I could just see the guy going, I'm melting right here. You see, because that's when we hear stuff for the first time. I heard it for the first time. And I was going like, what is this guy delusional? What the hell is he talking about? So now when someone shares their delusion with me, I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. I'll even ask them questions. I go, I can you explain that? Can you explain? Oh, yeah, I can explain that. And I'm doing my best to understand and listen because people don't care what you know. They just want to know if you care. And when people take the time to listen to somebody else's delusion, I guess we would never ever say that. You're sounding a little delusional right now. I don't understand how Jamie has rhymes that just pop in his head while he's talking to people. You guys, that what he sent me one day, the other day about MDC, and it was just amazing, Jamie. But so if Jamie was going to explain that, Jamie, I'd love to just Stop for a second and come up with a rhyme. Come up with poetry. How do you do that? When Jamie explains that process, he's going to sound delusional. Does that make sense to you guys? You guys already know. Jamie's like, well, listen, you just quiet your mind, allow it to come to you. When it comes from your heart, you start writing down. It starts changing as you're writing down. Woo! Woo! And I know that you guys have seen people do things that as you're watching human beings sometimes do unhuman things. It's like, how is that possible? It's because you can't lean on your own understanding. So now I am done. Anyone want to make any comments or ask any questions?
And if you do want to, go ahead, raise your hand, put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see all these people's lovely faces. On the bottom, there's a button that says raise hand. Click on that and let's chat about it.
One thing that I love is when I do things like this from my heart. I'll give you guys one thing that downloaded to me today. That's my deal. Is I used to say I am statements when I was taught them. And then all of a sudden it became incantations. So then if you say affirmations with a loud voice, a passionate voice with your arms moving, it's like, I am powerful. I am strong. Really get into the feeling of it. Get goosebumps. And now I realize, and this is my own delusion, guys ready for this? That the download that I had today, that all the future things that I want in my life could very be said with the words, I love. Follow me. If I say I love you guys, how present is that? Is that like, makes me want to cry. If I say I love you, that's right now. Do you feel it right now? I love you. So, whatever you've seen, your delusion, your imagination, your faith, whatever you want to call it. If it was like, I love having a home next to Ezra and his parents. I love giving money to charity. I love giving money to orphans. I love people. I love helping them get inspired and have hope and start imagining a better future for them and the people that they love. I love meeting with people on Zooms and any future visual content. I love being full of passion. I love being peaceful. I love being joyful. I love being optimistic. So to think that in all the times that I've been journaling, that I've gone back through my journals and I've changed I am to I would love, now crossing out the would. Because Jody, like, hey, can you tell me how you feel about Luna? I love Luna. Now, present tense. It's like, wow, I'm not aware right now, but I keep living in my delusion that if you could now claim things with the words, I love fill in the blank. Because when I got given that, I immediately rewrote every thing I love. See, if you guys hang around me and know me really well, there was a point when all of a sudden I went, goals are bullshit. There's still a group of people out there that are talking about you got to set and have clearly defined goals. Goals are things that you constantly get messed up on because you don't hit them. And now it just defeats you and just totally defeats you and totally defeats you. and totally defeats you. Why? Because we over exaggerated what we think we can do in a shorter period of time. It's just unrealistic expectations. So I want to make $10,000 and I want to do it by next Friday. What a way to let your ass down. What a way to set yourself up. So what's the number one thing that we hear now? What's your New Year's resolution? I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore. That's stupid. Why? They don't come true. And people that have kept data on it found out that less than 1% of people that do New Year's resolutions come true. Well, that's the same stat for everything. So, Jamie, go ahead.
Jamie, give me a moment while I do that and bring you on board. Go right ahead, Jamie.
Hey man, appreciate everything you're saying. So talking about delusions, I get told often how delusional I sound, the fact that I can come up with these rhymes, right? Well, because of everything that everyone here has helped with all of us, August the 3rd, I wrote a short poem, of course, of unlimited wisdom. But also what it inspired me to do is I reached out to this woman I had seen on Facebook she's an author, and I shared my story of my childhood with her. And I've done like four videos of me where I wrote it in like a third party, like as a third person. Anyway, I got on some writing material with her, and it let me actually do another poem that I have shared on some people's TikTok lives that has touched so many people because they've had childhood issues as well. But had I not had, I don't want to say training, but have I not had the connection with everyone here, my delusional would not have came true.
Ah,
So this part of me wanting to help these other folks has been so blowing up just because, well, for truth, I stepped out of my damn comfort zone.
thank you, Jamie. There's no better testimonial than someone feeling safe in a community where they can be delusional and everyone's going, I'm so happy for your delusion. or your imaginator. We're using the
Exactly.
word imaginator. I was telling, thank you so much. That touched me, Jamie, more than you know. It's because that's what happened to me. I just all of a sudden got around a bunch of people that the more I shared the things that I was going to do, and they'd ask me, how do you think that's possible? And I go, because I think about it all day, every day. Well, then I'm no longer friends with them because I do it. I do it. And now all of a sudden, it's like when I'm around them, it's like they know that I know that they know.
Mhm.
It's like, it's like I'm never going to bring it up to them, Jamie, and say, hey, Jamie, don't you remember when you and I had conversations? You said I was an idiot and that I was going to get thrown in jail, that this would never happen. See, I never do that to people. But, when I go home for a funeral of an uncle and I'm driving a Rolls Royce Ghost and the parents don't know what it is, but all their kids know what it is. That was the weirdest thing. Dad, look at that car. Well, I don't understand. That's what rappers and singers and movie stars drive those things. And I don't have to go up to all the people that said I wouldn't amount to anything and tell them I told you so. I don't have to say anything. A lot of them are friends of mine on Facebook. And they must be just going, what the hell? But if you ask them, it's gotten back to me, Jamie, where some person said one time, well, why don't you do what Robert's doing? And they said, I don't want to go to door to door selling product. I don't want to knock on people's doors and sell products to people. See, that's their delusion on what they think I do. And can I change their minds? I can't. That's the hardest thing about this is that the more you dive into your delusion, the more you have belief and imagination that that can happen and you lean in, then what happens is I believe everything that's out there for us, the miracle that we are, just goes, Jamie, if you're going to lean in to doing something I gifted you to do, I'm just going to keep pouring on you. Just keep writing, just keep writing, just keep writing. And now you're in this vortex and this stuff is coming out of you. And then you share it to other people and it touches their hearts. And what's going to happen to you is the same thing that happens to a person that I'm probably saying his name wrong, but this guy that wrote raps and rhymes, right? And he got challenged by one of his friends to write a Christian song, and he's going like, "Listen, I that's just not my genre. I'm not interested." And so then he puts it out there, and he gets 37 million views on it. And so another friend reached out to him and said, "What about this?" And then that song exploded. And then the next thing, this guy calls up and says, "Listen, you need to go on tour." He's going, "I got 2 songs." And he goes, "Doesn't make a difference. You'll come up with more." And the last 2 events that he showed up were sold out. And he's like, "Man, I just said to everyone 3 years ago, I'm not interested in Christian music." So now he's got all these friends that know him really close that are saying he's a sellout. And now he's converting them. It's like, listen, and I just heard him say one thing, Jamie, and you'll love this. He's going, have you ever, ever, ever imagined being on stage with 30, 40,000 people there just to see you? You're not the head comedian or the person that warmed them up or the band that played before the band. No, they all came to see you. And you're telling me right now that there was a time that I couldn't get 1,000 views on a YouTube channel? And now I'm playing in sold out stadiums because someone challenged me to write different lyrics? And you're mad at me? All I want is the same damn thing as you want. And the guy goes, I never thought of it that way. So if there's just a bunch of people that would show up because the lyrics are different, it's pretty interesting times that we're living in. It's like you can come with your delusion and come from your heart and share it with the world. And if it touches people, they're going to share it. They're going to share it. Jamie, can you make sure that I want to listen to that? I know you gave it to me before, but I would really love to listen to it with because I'm constantly changing as well.
You mean the one about unlimited wisdom?
No, the one that you shared that really touched these people that had a bad childhood.
You want me to share it now?
You want to?
I'll, why not? It must be meant to be.
There, let's go.
You thought you had to yell, even if I had just fell. You look and holler, why are you crying? Just stop before I give you a reason. And in the end, I know it's all you know. In your mind, you was being true. That generational curse that we all fear, which hurts, and there comes another tear. One thing I can say is even when you would cuss, it still hurts that you are no longer with us. When we had good, the last few years talking so true, thank you for those words. That helped me forgive you. The things that happened set me on a course. I am now finding my purpose, and I'll go after it with force. helping millions know they are not alone. Dad, I'm getting there in that zone. And I know you're sipping sweet tea from your cup, but I'll stay focused, positive, and I'll never give up.
Dang. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Uh, yeah, you made that you made all the effort worth it. Thank you. I love you, brother.
Me too.
So does someone want people are going like, man, I can't go after Jamie. I love you guys. Man, that was awesome. It's still, I just keep talking so I don't cry.
I
That's
think Corky said that he wanted. Did you want to say something, Corky? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. And there we go. Go for it.
Thank you, Jamie.
Mm.
That was my dad. And all I wanted to hear from my dad was, I'm sorry. I didn't get to hear that, but Jamie, that was really good. Part of it is, Jamie, I know your heart because I got to spend a little time with you a couple years ago in Nashville, and I know how you roll. And um, thank you, thank you.
ah, hey, Jamie, do you have a YouTube of you doing that?
I have not read my poems on YouTube.
Why?
I guess my delusional thoughts have stopped me.
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct.
It's funny you asked that because 2 weeks ago I was thinking I should.
Well, now you're getting confirmation, my friend. People need to hear that. People need to hear that. Only for one reason. And you say it in the poem. It's like you're not alone. You're not alone. It's like yeah. So if you have trouble doing that on a YouTube channel, uh, do them with us and give Craig permission to edit it.
I was already thinking about that, Robert. And
Just
Jamie,
sending
with
you
your
the
permission,
videos
I
like,
will do that.
Anything I've ever read on these things is always
wow. Thank
in
you.
y'all's hands.
Man, I'm glad that you caught on that your delusional self has stopped you from doing it. That's powerful, man. Because since I came up with that concept, I'm going like, yeah, all these little voices and dinos and little balls that I have in my head. I mean, the step of me doing unlimited wisdom and being true to unlimited wisdom is getting easier for me every day. But it's me stepping out with 100% delusion. 100% delusion because I'm getting all my beliefs challenged. It's like, do you really think that you can build an incredible, loving community without having any money passing hands? No transactional things at all. And it's like, I already knew that less than 1% of people ever share this with anybody. I had to be okay with that. So, do I believe that if you build it, they will come? I do. I do. I 100% believe that if I build it, they will come. 1000%. And before I thought we had any value in unlimited wisdom, and it was like I blinked my eye and it's over a month. And I look at the people and the posts and the things that people are sharing and the content. Oh my God, the amount of content that we have in unlimited wisdom right now, that if people with an open heart would watch any of it, they'd be like me. They'd never be the same person ever again. So I'm glad that I'm so happy and grateful that this has allowed that to do that for you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Because I'm delusional and seeing your video go viral. I'm delusional seeing someone taking your words and turning it into a song.
I got asked that on that TikTok. I got challenged on one of the TikTok lives about a buddy of mine that does the live. He does it as a karaoke, and he invited me in to share. And he said, "I want to challenge you by you writing a point about physical altering lifetime changes," because he's an amputee. And what it did is I wrote a poem about him losing his leg. I ended up writing a poem about my daughter that in June had a motorcycle accident. And then I wrote a poem about my dad crushed his fingers when he used to race Odysseys. But then that led me to write a fourth one on how you can take any of those and make wisdom out of them.
Yes.
So it just opens my mind so much.
I just love that you're being used that way. I love that you're being open that way and allowing it to happen. Yeah. So can you imagine actually teaching people how to do what you do? See, that's what I believe people, that's where people mess up. They go, listen, there's got to be some kind of monetary gain that I can pull from this. So maybe I can teach people to be this way. I've given that up.
Right.
I now know that I am so delusional and my the craziness of who I am. I now know that I need to teach people to be who they are. I need they got gifts. Every time I hear this part in the Washed by the Words that I listen to all the time. And that's when I know that I'm still working on me. Is when the person says, there's a voice that you have for those that have ears, that your voice is the only one that can touch them. And Dino beats the shit out of me as soon as I hear that. No, that's not true. There's somebody else's voice that can get to those. And I'm like, man, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? I just need to step in and be delusional, knowing that the words that I have are for a group of people. And if I'm willing to put those words out there, like you're going to, that they'll find the ears that need to hear them. I'll share one story with you, Jamie, that I've said before. It's all about testimonials. And during a really lost time in my life, I got invited to, this is funny. I got invited to see this evangelist that I can't remember his name. Wow. I will remember his name. Okay. It will come to me. And I went down there and there was a small group of people, about maybe 50 people. And this guy was, pretty fire and brimstone, man. He was really, really out there. But then he said something at the very end that he said, if you feel like you have the gift of evangelism and you want to come up here, I'll pray with you. And man, I was so lost. I was just like, and I'm just like, I'm going up there. I couldn't explain to you what an evangelist is, right? And so I went up there and I could, I had my eyes shut. And as I had my eyes shut, I just went into the deepest way of connecting that I knew how. And I was listening to what he was saying to people, and it was almost the same prayer over and over again, just saying, I agree with Jamie that two or more in the midst, that she'll come to pass. And he believes in this gift, and I ask you to give it to him. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. And he was just going down, and I was just like, and he got over top of me, Jamie, and he just stopped. He didn't say anything. And he goes, man, he hears you. He hears you. And I just was like, and then he just moved on to the next person. So during one of the, I just felt so lost. And to have someone stop over me and just go, hey, man, he hears you. You're connected. You're in. Because at that last point in my life, I was delusional, believing that I was doing everything wrong. It's like sometimes we go through things and it seems so difficult and nothing's working. And we're just going like, man, why have you forsaken me? It's like, I don't hear anything. I don't think anything's happening right. Everything's wrong in my life. You know what I mean? And man, when he said that, and it just hit me. It's like the only reason that you think that I'm not listening is because you think that I'm not listening. So that's when I realized that I wasn't praying wrong. That the way that I talk to my creator is exactly the way I'm talking to you. Exactly the way I would talk to a person that I cared about, that I loved, that just talked to me. Doesn't have to be in a sequence and add this and that and this. And yeah, that's why I did the video about names. Because everybody's going like, 'cause I got to make sure that I address this individual a certain way. You know, Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think the one moment within us on our community that really hit me was when we were at convention last year. And I know I spoke on this before. It's because how true I felt you were with the feelings that you had for me going into that box to win that money. That was amazing. I mean, I was already inspired that I got chose, but I know why I got chose because I was sitting there
Yes.
I was bringing it. But the excitement I saw in you for me, I was
Ah,
like, there is no truer person that is there for the masses.
oh man, that's humbling. That's humbling. Yeah, I was excited for you. It's like my brother's winning. And man, when you got out of the cage and they started reading off all the stuff that you got, I was like, what? It
Yep.
was like
1,800 in brand books.
that was one of those things like, hey, if you believe, you're delusional. I'm gonna open up the windows of heaven, and just fill your cup, brother. Just fill it. I mean, you were standing there going, and they kept pulling out more, and they just kept pulling. It was so crazy. And like Jamie come up to me afterwards, and he goes, "What do I buy? Like a lifetime subscription to everything?" It was so crazy. Oh, I love you, Jamie. I'm so glad that I got to experience that with you.
It was great. It
Yeah.
was great.
So yeah, whenever you don't have to have any doubts anymore that whatever created us wants us to win.
That is right.
Yeah. I love you. I love you. I love you. I
Love
love you.
you too, buddy.
Well, you guys had enough for today? That was awesome. That was awesome. Again, I'm telling you guys that I'm stepping into these Sundays just being what I'm called to be. And I've been very, very nervous. I'm gonna scare people. I'm gonna get the people that are know-it-alls. They're gonna have to challenge a little bit about what they know. And I'll leave you guys with this. For those of you that watch this recorded or live, that feel like you've been in a belief where you know that you know that you know, here's one thing that I'll give you. Just one. Listen to this. It's from my spirit. Is don't put anything before me. Don't put anything before me. So I have a lot of people that are believers that says, according to the Bible, and I go, can you read the first commandment for me? It says, put nothing before me. Doesn't mean that it's not important, but I wouldn't want to be in his presence and go, hang on a second, let me see what the book says. oh, hey, hang on. No, I just would want to be in his presence. Whatever that is, not understanding. So I want to just be closer. So it says you pull close to me, I pull close to you. I want to get to know Jim better. I want to get to know any of you better. I don't know how to do that without spending time with you. Because spending time with you would get you to a point where you feel like I could be trusted, that I care. And then in a private conversation, you might say things to me that you wouldn't say to anybody else because you know that I wouldn't be judging you. And then we could get some real cool answers, right? Because sometimes we just want validation. We just want, it's so awesome to be able to talk to somebody and go, well, this is what I'm delusional about. Blah, 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 blah. What do you think? You're right on. What? What do you mean I'm right on? Yeah. Well, I didn't think I was because you're listening to all the other delusional people. How can we come up with our own delusion when we're worried about other people's delusions and how they feel about us? What? I now understand the deepest and most intimate things that happen to me on a day-to-day basis. That I know that's for me to understand. It's not for me to brag and say, hey, guess what? This is what happens to me during a download. This is how I hear. This is how I came to this point. Because then that's when it can get turned into a religion. Because now I can create a bunch of followers instead of a bunch of independent people becoming the best they can be. I don't know your journey. You know your journey. It's just us constantly doubting ourselves, right? It's like, listen, what are people going to think of me? I think you should be worried about one thing, what you think of you. What if you thought incredible stuff about you every day? Because see, if you're always for something, then it's easy. But if you're always against something, I'm supposed to stop right there. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me and my delusions and my hallucinations. Where do you guys think that you would ever get a person that was in front of a group of people going, "Hey, I just like to share my hallucination with you"? No, my ego would kick in and go, "Let me tell you what it is." So, Craig, go ahead.
Wow. Thank you so very much, Robert. What a great share and what a great master's mind. And Jamie, thank you also for coming in and also sharing. We appreciate you very, very much. Give a shout out also to Matt Hollis. Matt, thank you so much for being our executive producer. And we just got so much more to go, so much more to come, so much more to share. And with you, thank you so much for being here so that we can share. Share is the key word for unlimited wisdom. That's what makes the unlimited being part of this, because it's not just us, it's everybody. So bless you all. Thank you so very much. Just a reminder, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, recess! Something new I guess I'm going to be doing now for a while. And then, of course, the daily wisdoms, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And then on Thursdays, breakthrough session, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we just keep going and going and going. We are the Energizer Bunny. So love and appreciate each one of you. I don't know if there's too much in the chat, but if you want to save information in the chat and shares in the chat, go ahead and click the three dots in the meeting chat next to where it says Robert Hollis's personal meeting room, and then click save chat. It will download to your computer once we finish. So until next time, everybody, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and unmute so that we can all say so long. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday! Goodbye, everyone. Bye, Deborah,
Bye,
Michael.
everyone.
Thank you.
Happy
Sunday, everybody.
Cars in the background.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Dad. Thanks,
Bye,
Craig.
Matthew. I
Thank you,
love you.
everybody.
Love
Lisa
you.
Marie,
Bye,
Karen,
Ezra.
Corky.
Bye.
Corky. Oh, it moved on me. Lisa Marie, Karen, Jamie, Michael, Jody, and Mr. Shoemaker, and CJ. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, look at that, Ezra. Oh, look at Ezra. Look at Ezra. Oh, my God. I love it.
Bye.
Love it.